Hello and welcome to the slightly humorous panel interview show here on River Radio. Pull the other one with me, Brian Naylor. Joining me are our regular contestants. On the one side, the talented DJ and presenter, it's Chloe Sinclair, also known as Miss C. And on the other side, we have our other regular contestant who some people are 1 in a million. This guy was won in a raffle. It's Pratik Barman. Our special guest contestant this week is a regular performer on the London comedy scene. She's also taken to the stage in Austin, Oakland, Portland, Los Angeles, and San Diego, where she became very well known for her passion for storytelling mixed with a very dry delivery. She also hosts the More Than Work podcast. It's Rabiah Coon. Welcome, Rabiah.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me here.
Oh, it's great to have you here. Now, first of all, before we go into what is generally a complete shambolic mess of panel show, I just wanted to get to know you a little bit more. So you started in the US because I do detect a little accent going on there. You see how sharp we are here. You're not going to get away with much. Whereabouts are you actually originally from?
I'm from Southern California, and I grew up just north of Los Angeles, and then I went to college in San Diego and lived there for quite a bit. I lived in San Diego as long as I lived in LA, basically. Yeah.
Okay, and that's where the comedy started? You started with stand-up there?
Yeah.
What would you say are some of the differences between, say, a British audience and an American audience?
Yeah, it's the audiences, I guess it's a little bit more boozy here, possibly.
That's hard.
But I think it seemed like I didn't have much experience with audiences here, honestly, because I moved here to London like right before lockdown. So I got a couple gigs in. But what I noticed was even with the comics, like a lot of times with open mics, for example, you just have comics in the audience. They seem to sit and pay attention more and be more generous with their laughter here than they were in the US. Like a lot of times in the US, like you would talk to an empty room sometimes, but then when you did shows, it was awesome because people are there to see you. I think maybe just a little bit more engaged sometimes.
You then came over to the UK. What on earth made you do that decision?
Yeah, I was tired of regular vitamin D from this. Like, oh, what can I do to get a deficiency? I'm a project manager in IT, and they just asked if I'd be interested in coming over here for a bit and working on some clients here. And it sounded like a cool opportunity to see Europe.
So you have a proper job as well.
I do.
Excellent. We're ever so glad that you have come over, and hopefully we'll get a chance to ask a few more questions about you, your life, your comedy and everything a little bit later on. But let's crack on with round one here on Pull the Other One. Now, this is a round where I'm going to give you a story from around the Thames Valley area or from around the world. And I'll give you a question and you guys fill in the gaps and identify what story I'm referring to. Let's start off in a pretty good place at question number 1. So this is a couple discover what in their house after ripping up the carpet?
Weird sex games.
Really? I mean, we're starting off hard, aren't we? I mean, we usually sort of warm into the
no, not foreplay.
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
You're telling too much there, Pratik.
Yeah, I know. Is it the £350 million for the NHS?
Oh,
if only.
He's getting political. He's off early as well. Okay.
I was thinking maybe all the issues they swept under the rug over the years and now they're divorced. I don't know.
I like it. Sweeping issues under the rug. Not bad, not bad.
Is it David Cameron's integrity?
Oh, I actually think I saw this story. Was it a massive Monopoly game?
Yes, it was. Can you believe? This is the story about the couple who discovered a giant Monopoly board in their house after ripping up the carpet. The owners were left open-mouthed after they unexpectedly discovered the hidden huge gaming board underneath the carpet while carrying out renovations. The previous owners had installed the massive Monopoly, and they said it was truly incredible. The photo was shared on Reddit by the couple's son-in-law, who explained, while tearing up the carpet, my in-laws found the giant Monopoly board. He added that they had asked him to redesign it and restore it to its former glory. So he said, I thought I'd give it a go.
But you wouldn't want to be in that house, would you? Because you could go to prison at any point.
Hey. Well, it depends if you take a chance or not.
Oh, here we go.
Nice.
Yes. And the other question, of course, was why is Monopoly one of the few games that is only made by one company? Let's move on to question number 2. Beauty Queen snatches what?
Is it pole position at the Indian Grand Prix?
No.
Beauty Queen snatches a glimpse at what she could have won.
What could she have won? Opposition at the Grand Prix, by the sounds of it.
Yes.
Is it snatches bodies for devil worship?
Oh. Could be that. That's more like it, isn't it? Yeah.
I don't know much about beauty queens. I guess beauty queen snatches glimpse of reality when she gains the lockdown 20 pounds.
I like that.
All right, I'm going to have a guess at this, Brian.
Go on, mate.
I think she snatched a crown off another beauty queen's head.
You're absolutely right as well. Yes, this is a story about tearful Pushpika De Silva had her crown forcibly removed by the previous winner just moments before being named Miss Sri Lanka. The beauty pageant winner in Sri Lanka was told that she had been disqualified and had her crown taken off her head on stage because it was believed that she had been divorced, which is against the competition rules. When Miss De Silva was asked why she originally filed for divorce, she stated that her husband couldn't rise to the occasion in the bedroom, but it didn't stand up in court.
Oh, boom, boom. That sounded like he didn't stand up anywhere by all accounts.
Question number 3 then. Bookies slash odds on what?
Is it Trump and Kanye forming a new boy band to try and reap some wealth to cover Trump's massive debt?
Yeah, probably is. Yeah, something like that. I wouldn't be surprised. Could possibly be. It's not what we were looking for, though.
Is it Ryland to become prime minister?
Wow, do you know what? You say that in jest. There are, and I'm going to tell you a bit later on, some of the actual things that you can bet on. It's unbelievable. But yeah.
The UK border's even opening in 2021 at this point.
Oh, yeah, gosh. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? It'd be nice.
Is it Joe Biden appearing on Strictly Come Dancing?
No.
That'd be Strictly Come Doddering. He's quite old, isn't he?
Yeah.
Has anybody got an answer for me then for bookie slash odds on what?
Is it something to do with UFOs?
Do you know what? It is something to do with UFOs.
Oh.
Yes, this is the story that bookies have slashed the odds on discovering aliens within the next year. Odds are now 20 to 1, down from 200 to 1. This is after former US President Donald Trump included an order for his Director of National Intelligence to submit a report on unidentified aerial phenomena in his COVID-19 relief bill last year. The results of the report are set to be released on the 1st of June, with John Ratcliffe hinting it will share unseen information into the existence of UFOs. Other interesting stuff. Other odds that you can take with the bookies are David Cameron will be the next Aston Villa manager. 2,500 to 1. Elvis is found alive and well is 2,000 to 1. And this is an interesting one. Paddy Power are offering 500 to 1 odds if you can predict the date of the end of the world. Somewhat unclear, however, how you would collect your winnings if you were to get it right. All right, thank you very much. Here we go. Question number 4. Man sprinkles what on police officer's head?
Is it crack? I know Dave Chappelle's always banging on. He's got a comedy sketch about sprinkling crack on people's heads.
It's very close, actually.
Is it hundreds and thousands?
No.
No, because he topped himself after.
Hey! Hold on, I think I've got a special effect here for that.
The cop was like super bland, so you put allspice on his head. I don't know.
Yay. I'm going to have to give this to Chloe because she was the closest there. It was, in fact, cocaine. This is the story. Antonio Freeman was arrested in Nashville, USA, after he sprinkled a bag of cocaine on top of a police officer's head whilst he was being questioned. According to the arresting officer, Antonio was spotted rolling marijuana and was only going to receive a caution until he produced the Class A drug. Antonio said he was only trying to crack a joke, but the officer said that he drew the line with cocaine.
Oh my God, I would have loved to have seen that. I mean, his face. How high would you have had to be to think that was okay to do? I mean...
Super. Okay, moving on. Somebody got a point there as well, I think. Question number 5. This is the final question for this round, so prepare. What is roaming around Berkshire?
Is it doggers?
They're every week.
Every week, doggers come up, don't they?
Is it Nigel Farage looking for someone else to offend?
Ah.
Like maybe Carson from Downton Abbey, just seeing if anyone needs a hand with anything.
Anyone? What's roaming around Berkshire?
Donald Trump's hair?
Is it? I reckon I know this, Brian.
All right, mate, go on.
Big cats.
Oh, it's very close, actually, because that is one of the things. I'll give you a bonus question if you can get the second thing. Or supposedly. I don't know if it's genuinely true.
Vegans?
Royal watchers in packs of 6, maybe just...
Pratik, you are going to get a point here, which is a bit of a momentous occasion because it is partly right. This is the story that it may not just be wildcats that are roaming around in Berkshire, because in February, Richard Smith was absolutely convinced that he'd seen a crocodile in the River Thames near the rowing club in Reading. He recalled an incident where he'd seen a goose pulled to its doom by the lurking underwater predator, and he put 2 and 2 together to prove the existence of the scaly guest in the river. However, reptile experts poured water on his claim, saying cold-blooded crocodiles would definitely not survive in the chilly English climate, and his claims were ridiculous. Mr. Smith said, "There's no need to be so snappy."
In a world where radio stations are 10 a penny,
Can I have 10 radio stations, please? That'll be a penny, love. Thank you.
there is one radio station
There can be only one.
There can be only one.
There can be only one.
that stands out from the crowd.
I want that one.
All right. What is this thing?
It's River Radio.
There can be only one.
One that's made entirely out of syrup.
Welcome back. This is Paul the Other One. You're listening to River Radio. We are joined today by a very special guest, Rabiah Coon, all the way from America. Well, you've been here for a little. You're British now. We've got you. We don't let you go, especially during COVID. We've locked the door.
I'm officially British.
You're officially British. We've decided we are going to keep you. There seems to be a culture of comedians not being able to say what they think. I don't know if it is what they call the woke, the PC culture. Is it gone too far? And especially, I understand in universities. Are you finding that? Are you seeing that happening, or is it not affecting you?
For me, it doesn't affect me much, other than I'm thoughtful when I'm writing and I'm thoughtful when I'm seeding jokes a certain way. And I think you can say whatever you want. You just have to know that there might be consequences for it. And that's it. And so there's the guys who tell certain jokes about certain subjects that maybe affect women, for example, and how they're treated or mistreated on dates or by other men. If you make jokes about that and you get called on it, then I don't know what to tell you. Or if you make racist jokes, like here, talking about differences between the US and UK, the racism in the US is much more overt than here. And so you'll hear more of those kind of jokes in the US than here from my experience. But to me, it's like if you use certain language and you get called out, that's your problem. But I'm not someone who, I'm very careful. Like I have certain jokes that I don't tell anymore because I realize the impact on others. I don't know, the whole cancel culture woke thing. I just had a debate on my podcast with someone about it. And it was really weird because it was like this person almost wants to cancel something so that they won't get canceled. And you're trying to cancel other people's opinions, so your opinion's okay now. And I thought that was a weird way of the anti-cancel culture. I just think that if people recognize they said something that was maybe insensitive and they realize it, then they should be forgiven and given a chance. But also, I never want to watch Louis C.K. again, for example, because I think he's gross. That's my right too. So it's kind of, I don't know if that, for me, that's where I stand. Like, I can choose as a consumer not to watch someone, but also like if everyone chooses not to watch them anymore, then that's too bad for them. Then they should have thought it through. I don't know.
What was the thing that put you off Louis K?
Nothing he said other than it was more just the Me Too stuff with him. But I'm just saying, as an example, he was one of my favorite comedians and I absolutely adored him. And I thought, man, that's like someone whose style I respect and appreciate. But then you're also like doing something to women that isn't great. And I don't really want to give you money anymore.
No, totally 100%. I would be with you. Yeah. If I'd followed someone and I was totally into them and then they said something that I didn't align with me, I'd probably step back in the same way.
Yeah. So, and probably Gervais, like I think Ricky Gervais is super funny. Do I think everything he says is probably okay with me and something? I would say no, but I'm not. I love him and I think he's funny and I just go, okay, he hasn't said anything that I personally can't watch him or give him money anymore because he doesn't have enough money anyway. So, and
he was quite outspoken in a real positive way. Like he was saying things that nobody would say, but most people were speaking about behind closed doors. So that was like quite brave rather than being cruel. I think that was just quite above. It was close to the bone more than anything.
What was funny to me about it is he's saying it, but he's also the millionaire. He's the one who's going around talking about things too, like being self-righteous sometimes and stuff. But he said it in it was like, to me, I was laughing because a lot of the right-wing people were like super on his, like, oh, he finally said what we're thinking about liberal Hollywood. But it's like, no, he was also making fun of you, but you didn't see that. Yeah, that was the beautiful thing about it. And he's also liberal Hollywood. He's the one, he's always, I mean, I agree animals should be treated well, but he's always posting things and saying things too. So he's using his platform to say things, but then he was like attacking people for it. So it's a funny thing because it's not like he's living in Hampstead Heath or something. He's not living in poverty, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So let's admit that.
But I'm with you because I don't actually like him as a person, but I do some of the stuff that he's got to say.
And his laugh is brilliant, right? I have a Ricky Gervais mug right now.
Yeah, I don't like him at all, but
yeah, but I love
good.
Him, but like, I think I understand if people are offended by what he says too. And I think that's okay. I'm not going to tell them don't be offended by it because whatever. He does a Chinese voice and stuff. I would never do that. Certainly not on stage.
Well, it's hard. Actually, we were talking about this yesterday. I love accents and you can't do an accent without looking like a racist these days. And I'm totally not, that's not where I'm coming from, but I just love doing accents. But now I'm so conscious of doing these things in front of anyone that isn't a friend because I don't want them to think I'm being racist, but I'm not ever. I could be doing an Irish, I could do all accents and I just love playing with them. Now we're in such a PC kind of sensitive, don't mention anything because you might upset someone kind of position. It's like, we're going to be silent if this carries on. We're not going to be allowed to say anything. We're going to have to walk around gagged up.
Yeah, that's the danger, isn't it? Is that, you'll be silenced and you're too afraid to say or do anything. And then where are you going to find humor? Because if humor isn't laughing at the human condition in one way or another, I don't know what it is. It has to. But that's the beautiful thing about stand-up in particular, I think, is that there is nothing which is off bounds. You can talk about any subject, in my opinion, as long as the joke, and I think actually Ricky Gervais talking about him, he says this, what's the target of that joke? But what is the target of the joke? Is it the mentality of the person doing it? Are we laughing at that? In that case, that's fine, isn't it? Is it not? And I think sometimes the audiences, because they are so quick to look for these sort of almost virtual signaling outrages, and it's like, no, you're not actually listening to the target of the joke there. That's not what we're saying. So I think it's a real shame if stand-up comedy is repressed in this way and you can't think. Because I agree with you, Rabiah, that we decide with our wallets. In a capitalist society, if people don't like it, they don't pay for it. They don't watch it and you don't get rebooked. Easy as that, rather than the executive of BBC or ITV making a decision because he or she is offended. Let the people decide. Whoa.
Yeah, there's an interesting thing too with the whole idea like of the white savior. That's very real. Like I do a lot of charity and volunteer work as well. And there's that idea or with politics where, so I'm like, sometimes the whole thing that happens is someone gets offended on someone else's behalf, but they're not even offended. And so you're not being an ally at that point by being offended for them. You're actually like hurting them because now their cause, if it's race, for example, isn't highlighted anymore. It's your offense at someone who may have offended their cause. And that's a really dangerous thing too. So it's tricky when it's a thing to do. And yeah, it's one of those things. Cause like I joke about some stuff that some people won't think is funny, but it's like with mental health, for example, if you joke about it and you've struggled with it and you're joking about your struggle with it versus joking about someone else's, and there's a big difference.
Yeah, coming back to accents, like Indian and Welsh sound the same.
They
so
do.
Yeah, so for many years I thought my mum was Welsh, but she's actually Indian.
So let's move on.
This is a load of barnacles.
Round 2. This is the round, which is where everybody's going to tell us a story. It's up to the other contestants to decide whether that story is true or false by cross-examining and asking delving deep questions to find the truth. Pratik.
I once held the county record for eating the most Big Macs in 2 minutes.
How many Big Macs are we talking?
It was 8.5.
That's a lot of Big Macs in 2 minutes.
Yeah, but you can do it in 20 seconds, maybe 15 seconds. You can eat the Big Mac.
I'm not sure about that. That's a lot of bread and a lot of meat.
No, if you chew it very quickly.
Well, no, you masticate. You're meant to chew about 30
Sorry,
times.
I what?
You're meant to
No, I wasn't
masticate.
Masticate. All right, okay.
No. This is pre, the watershed. So
Okay.
Mastication is what I was saying. You're definitely not going to be able to masticate that amount of burger.
Well, I did. I
minutes.
got the certificate to prove it.
That's what she said.
Whereabouts was this official Big Mac eating competition held?
Basically, it was held in Merthyr Tydfil, and there was a competition from people around the county. We had to go there, and we had to eat as many burgers as we could in 2 minutes, and I got the record. I'm pretty proud of it, to be honest.
How much training did you put in?
I put a lot of training. Have you seen my belly, Brian?
Oh, is that why?
Did you drink anything while you
Yes, you got to drink as well. So you have to liquefy your mouth. So you're allowed to drink. But yeah, it was one of my claims to fame, really.
What did you
I made the paper as well. So you can have a look at it.
What did you drink?
You can't drink anything fizzy, so it have to be water.
But what, so you said you can't and it would have to be, but what did you, so you're saying you drink water?
Yeah, you're only allowed to drink water.
Okay. Interesting
Is that-
wording.
Is that because the bubbles make you fill up quicker?
No, that was the rules. Yeah, the official rules were you're only allowed to drink water.
So what was the previous world record before that?
It's not the world record. The world record is 36.
In 2 minutes?
Yeah,
No, never.
it is.
36 Big Macs in 2 minutes.
I'm telling you.
No.
Who holds that? A rhinoceros?
Have you ever seen World's Strongest Man? They have 15 eggs for breakfast and bacon, so they can do, 36 is the record.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a difference between eggs and a bit of bacon than breaded buns with burgers in them. That's a lot heavier than the eggs and the bacon.
Well, look at the Guinness Book of Records and you can see the record, 36.
Oh.
Is the world's strongest man eating, first of all, eating rapidly, like everything in 2 minutes? And second of all, is he eating like burgers? Like, I don't know. Like McDonald's now sponsors the world's strongest man competition.
No, that was just an example. He wasn't the person who's actually got the record.
I was going to say, he's been busy, that guy.
He's not the
Carries
world's
the
strongest man.
It's just like one name in the Guinness Book of Records is that one guy.
He just, like, how many burgers do you bench at a time?
I don't believe it.
I don't either.
Ah, okay. So we got two. Nobody believes you, Pratik. Is it true? Are you a record holder of munching burgers?
I am not.
Oh, well spotted. Well done. Rabiah.
So it was funny because you played Crocodile Rock, because I was thinking about the Oscars coming up. I got to go to Elton John's party in 2010 back in LA, and it was amazing. I hold an Oscar party every year because of the Elton John AIDS Foundation one, and so that was one I got to actually just go to. So it was awesome.
Okay. Did Rabiah go to Elton John's Oscar party? What do you think, guys?
Do you know what? I already think yes. I don't even need to ask any questions. That just sounds so believable. But so Elton John, he was actually there at the party then?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it his house?
No, it's a big event every year for the Oscars. This year they're doing it virtually, but usually it's in LA. So it's really cool.
Was his partner there, David Furnish? Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
He was, huh?
Of course.
Do you know what? I think we all believe Rabiah because it's a classy sort of, person that would be invited.
Yep.
And that's, anybody gonna hazard a guess?
I think it's true.
True.
It sounds very believable.
Okay. True is the response here to you going to Elton John's Oscar party.
No.
That was so believable.
If I'm delusional enough, like I'll probably get arrested for stalking him. But yeah, thank you. No, I wish I had gone, but I am going to the virtual one this year. I'm really excited. So.
Okay, so Chloe, let's hear your story.
So, my story. I once did a marathon DJ set of 16 and a half hours in a row in one go.
Where was this, Chloe?
It was at an after party.
So was it a private house?
Yes.
Was it the private house of a famous person?
No, not a famous person. Fabulous people, but they weren't famous.
And where was this?
That was in South London.
What area?
Broccoli.
How did you manage to keep going after a party for 16 hours?
When you got bags of enthusiasm like I do, Brian, you can go for hours.
Was there, by any chance, an incident outside with a policeman being covered in cocaine by sprinkling over his head?
I wouldn't have any clue what that sort of thing would be about, so definitely no. I don't know how I did it, but it just flew by.
Did the guy sprinkle as a practice before sprinkling on the police? Did he practice on you? Maybe
he might have done, because I don't know how I stayed awake for that long, but I was having a lot of fun.
It's all good. It's all good.
Did you repeat any of the songs?
I might have done. It was a long one. I don't know. I can't remember what I played from start to finish. And I was using vinyl back then as well.
Did you have to take a bathroom break?
Oh, yeah, a few.
Did you actually go to the toilet for that, or did you do it by the booth?
No, I had a little bag. Of course, I went to the bathroom. Put a really long record on and get your friend to watch it, and then you just sneak off.
Yeah. She went to the bathroom. That's the best place to do it, on the toilet.
I don't know anything about that sort of thing.
Okay, so what do we think, guys? Did Chloe do a 16-hour set straight after a party? What do you think?
Might have done, yeah.
Yeah, I think she did as well.
Okay, Chloe, what's the answer?
It was actually 14 hours.
That doesn't count.
Giving you a curveball there, isn't it? Okay, very nicely done. And at the end of that round, the scores are completely irrelevant because we haven't been following them at all during the entire show. See, what we're going to do is, we were talking to Rabiah earlier on about her stand-up and the differences in American and US audiences, etc. And we are going to have a little listen to a snippet of Rabiah's stand-up. So here it is. Do you remember where you were actually performing on this, or is it a variety of stuff?
I think that's all online, actually. So it would be UK.
Ah, okay. Here we go. Let's have a listen to some stand-up.
I don't know about anyone else, but I gained a little bit of weight in lockdown. I started out really well, like in the springtime lockdown, the first one, and I was like working out. But then in the winter one, I did the whole thing where you just stay home and eat. And I've been looking up diets. I just want to tell you guys about them. So intermittent fasting is a popular diet, but I found out it's not what I'm doing now, which is just not eating every once in a while, like while I'm talking, for example. I thought, oh, that's easy. I don't eat sometimes. No, it's not eating for like 12 to 15 hours a day. So it's like a diet cultural appropriation of Ramadan, you know? It's not really for me. And then you have keto. So keto used to be called Atkins, and we all heard it was really bad for you in the late 90s. And it kind of reminds me now, this rebranding kind of reminds me of when Kanye changed his name to Ye and thought we wouldn't know he was And then you have gluten-free. Now, I actually do gluten-free, but I don't do it to lose weight. And I've had so many people tell me, oh, I lost so much weight when I gave up gluten. And I'm like, I didn't give up chips and guac, so I didn't lose the weight. Gluten's a weird one, though, because there's certain things you can't have and you can have. And everyone knows you can't have bread, but you also can't have cocaine. So, you know, because it can be mixed with dangerous drugs, which we all know about, but also all-purpose flour, which for me is really not, it's just dangerous. And I can't ask if I'm offered it. I can't be like, oh, hey, yeah, is it gluten-free? It doesn't work. So anyway, so one thing I've done during lockdown, I've spent way too much time on Facebook trolling. First, it was like really my contribution to American democracy, because people would say like really racist stuff online, and I would let them know, hey, you spelled urine correctly. And my way of showing that we need to vote for the right people. But I had to stop spending so much time on there. But then I was on recently and I saw a memory of me and my grandma. And it was really nice just to think about her for a minute. And it was really more my memory than hers, I suppose. She had dementia in that photo, but like, still, it's a nice memory for one of us. And she used to, so cold. She used to get her hometown newspaper and she'd flip through it really fast and start to the obituaries and start circling names. And I was like, geez, that's so aggressive. I always thought it was like really bad that she did that. And I realized later on one day when I was scrolling through Facebook endlessly, she was actually just low-key stalking her exes, you know? Like when you're 90, your exes aren't on Facebook, they're in the obituary. So that's all she was doing, you know?
So there we go. That was Rabiah and some of stand-up that we were just listening to right then. Round 3 has come just after round 2. This round is where we're going to ask our contestants to pick up and improvise a story without any hesitations, pauses, repetitions, or just plain talking nonsense. There is no chance we're going to get very far with this because it's the no hesitations round. Let's start off with Rabiah, who is our guest contestant. So your theme to talk about is board games.
I've played board games like with kids, like with my nephews and with my friends' kids and stuff. And I realized like I'm not really a competitive person normally. But when I'm playing against kids, I am. And I know you're just like, let them win and teach them and stuff. These are people I can beat. So like even Monopoly, I actually like the kids Monopoly better than the adult version. I don't know if you played the kids one, but there you just buy the properties that you get to. So you just have to buy them. And you're just using dollar bills and it's super easy. There's no problem. But you can see people cheat more easily too. And I call kids out when they cheat. Like I used to get called out. And my mom and family will still talk about how I used to cheat when I was a kid. And I'm just known for that. You know what I mean? And so I want to protect them from the future. The kids don't know it's for their own good, but it is. And then the whole jail thing, like you have to explain, like jail's not just sitting in this like square and then you can spend $1 to get out of it. You're actually going to end up like having to pay lots of money and you might just go into debt and never get out of jail once you get in. So don't go to jail, kids. You know, it's like I scare them into knowing they don't end up in jail.
Don't go to jail, kids. It's going to be scary and your life will be destroyed. Welcome to Pull the Other One Comedy Hour here on the radio. Our resident contestants are being ever so courteous, I think is the word, because there are at least 4 repetitions of the word kids, at least 3 hesitations, and I just think they were absorbed and engrossed in the story. Or they forgot and they didn't want to actually pick it up and have to talk about board games. I'm not sure which.
The game of life never like ends with someone like me who's just a single woman working in IT and doing stand-up comedy. You know, you have to have children. You have
married,
to have a spouse. You're a skinny peg. No, I'm not skinny peg. So I'm repeating words, but I'm just like now angry about the game of life.
Just have get it out. Go on. Should be called the unrealistic game of life.
Yeah, they should have a realistic one where you end up like sad in a pandemic for a year.
Single crying into your cornflakes.
It'd be great if they had pandemic life and now it's just the game goes around a house.
I honestly have no idea who gets a point.
I think she should get a point for Rabiah told such a great story. I think that was...
Yes, well, congratulations, Rabiah. You get a point to add all to the other points that you may or may not have if you won any. Who knows? Okay, so let's move on. And Pratik, I would like you to talk about beauty queens.
So the other day I was heading down to Sri Lanka and I went to the Miss World competition and they were down one contestant and I had to join in.
Oh, so you didn't.
I did. I had to put my beauty costume on. I had.
Do you have one of those?
I do. Basically, I got natural man boobs, so it's all good. In fact, I was the largest of the sets there. So it was,
Sets.
It's all those Big Macs, mate.
yeah, 8.5. 8.5. Yeah, so... Yeah, so
there's definitely a massive hesitation right there.
Yeah.
Oh.
So somebody gets a point there. Well done. Thank you, Pratik. And moving on to Chloe, you start talking. I'm just going to add this little rule in to hurry it up a bit. You have 1 minute to talk without any hesitations, stutters, or anything like that about UFOs.
So UFOs, what are they? They're unidentified flying objects, but they're flying, so we know that much. I actually once saw one in Australia, and it was quite bizarre because what it did is it moved in a really weird way, and it stopped and hovered, and it changed into all these different colours. And I thought, am I high? What's going on? I wasn't high. I was actually totally sober. But the fact is, I definitely saw what I saw. Oh, that's repetitive. I caught myself out there. You didn't even catch that.
I was going to catch you.
I did 25 seconds.
It's a long time, isn't it? But yeah, you're absolutely right to call yourself out there, Chloe. And so you get the point.
Honesty. Work.
Unbelievable. I don't know.
That did actually happen, though. I did actually see a UFO, and it was a UFO because the way it moved, I was in Australia. It was the middle of nowhere, so it was totally dark. So you could see for millions of miles all the stars in the sky. And this thing moved in a really bizarre way that I've never seen anything move in. All four of us saw it, and we watched it for an hour. And it did this like weird little jittery thing, changed into all different colours. So we knew it wasn't a plane because it did purple, yellow, it did every colour. And it hovered in the same place for about an hour and a half, and it stayed there.
Was you DJing for 16 hours before that?
No, it's a totally different time, and I was in Australia.
Yeah, I believe you.
No, that actually happened.
Yeah, no, I believe you.
Seriously. And, I'm
not being sarcastic.
No, really, I just never know with you. But going by the story that you spoke about earlier, the UFO one, I'm actually starting to believe that probably was. I know, because we were thinking, what else could it be? It couldn't be anything else. But now I'm starting to think that maybe the UFOs are a thing.
Well, UFOs in Berkshire, would you believe? There's a picture of two UFOs hovering around the Oxford, just South Oxford sort of area, not so long ago. I think it was in Maidenhead paper. So They're here. The truth is out there.
Do you think they'd come here, have a look and go, oh, no, thanks?
I would.
Take one look at Boris Johnson's hair and think, man, I don't think we've got enough hours in the day to deal with this one.
Well, actually, stay with River Radio because we do have our very own unknown paranormal show hosted by me. Oh, yeah. And that will be starting very shortly at 6 o'clock on a Thursday. I have all sorts of guests talking about things like UFOs. It could be paranormal. It could be heavy quantum science and the wizardry of what's going on at an atomic level. So stick around 6 o'clock on a Thursday. That show will be starting very soon. Just getting a little plug in there. Yep. We are at the end then of round 3. That just leaves round 4 and 5, which will be coming up right after this.
The soundtrack to life in the Thames Valley. River Radio. On the web.
To the Batmobile. Let's go.
On your mobile.
Hello?
And on Alexa too.
River Radio.
That's it!
I pronounce that River Radio, but I'm always working on how I say things and I might not have it right.
In a world where radio stations are 10 a penny.
Can I have 10 radio stations, please? That'll be a penny, love. Thank you.
There is one radio station.
There can be only one.
There can be only one.
There can be only one.
That stands out from the crowd.
I want that one.
All right. What is this thing?
It's River Radio.
There can be only one.
One that's made entirely out of syrup.
Welcome back. This is Pull the Other One. You are listening to River Radio with me, Brian. We've got Pratik. We have got Chloe and our very special guest. It's Rabiah Coon all the way from America, but we've decided to adopt her and keep her. We're going to put her in a little box full of cotton wool and just feed her a little bit and give her some water. With the writing process, when you are doing your comedy, do you find that a lot of people and me included, sometimes, I don't know what it is, about 3 o'clock in the morning, I just find myself awake and then ping, there's an idea and I start writing it down. Where does your inspiration and creativity come from and start?
A lot of times, either I'll be in the shower and I'll think of something, which isn't convenient because paper doesn't work very well, nor electronic devices there. But yeah, like I have a notebook right by my bed. I have a notebook at my desk where I work. In the kitchen, I sometimes will have to go get it, or I'll just type into my phone, but it could be anywhere. Like usually not when I'm sitting down to write, unfortunately. It's usually when I'm doing something else. I sit down to write, I sit there and go, oh, I don't know what to do, you know?
Yeah. And the other thing is, writing I find is really difficult because I'll write something, and as you know, it's a lot to do with the way it's said, the underlining sort of sentiment of those words. And so sometimes I will pick it up in the morning and read it and think, what the hell was I on about? Even though the thing is written there, I haven't put the context or the underlying sentiment to it. And the whole process is a complete waste of time for me sometimes.
Do you not find, I find that as well, like, and I tend to have the greatest ideas when I'm like going to bed or something, and it's, oh goodness, I've just literally sat down last night trying to be funny and write all this stuff down. Nothing came. And then here I am with you guys and boom. Well, as soon as you start trying, your body goes, nope. It's like once it happens naturally or you stop trying, that's when it goes, and then it usually comes, isn't it?
Yeah. For me, yeah, for sure. And then it's just a matter of like, I have to try things out. Like I'll have an idea and I can't figure it out, like what to do with it. And sometimes I just have to wait and I'll come back to something 6 months later or whatever. It's going to be the same because I don't have anything.
Comedy, do you like test it out on your friends as you're going along before you go out and do it on stage? Like, how do you do that?
Well, one thing that happens to me a lot is I'll say something and then I'll be like, oh, that was really funny. And it's just in a conversation. Then I'll embellish the heck out of it. And then I'll usually just keep testing it out. Like in the middle of a set, you set up your set where it works at the front and the end, and then you have the middle to play. But yeah, I have friends who want to give me advice on what I should say. And I'm like, no, thank you. So yeah. So I don't test it because I don't want them to give me the advice.
Well, you don't want someone to give you their advice unless you've asked for it, usually, is it? It's kind of, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I just use the same jokes over and over again until someone laughs.
Don't we know it?
Brilliant.
All right then, let's move on to round number 4 then, before we do lose the will to live. And to the impressions round. This is where God knows what's going to happen if I'm honest, but we are supposed to be doing impressions or a line from a famous film, TV program, song, or generally anything that these guys can think of. And so let's start with you then, Pratik, because you are in the hot seat. Off you go, your impression, and we got to listen and guess what it is. Here we go.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
That was quite forceful, that, wasn't it?
It was intense.
Oh.
So,
yeah.
Is it a film?
Yes.
I should have asked more questions. That wasn't really enough to work.
Sean Connery?
No, it wasn't Sean Connery. That's my Sean Connery. That's not my Sean Connery. That's terrible.
Wasn't either. I don't know.
What decade was it? Was it in the last 10 years, the film?
No.
Is this film a classic?
Yes.
It's not The Matrix.
Yes, it is The Matrix.
Oh my God! What?
Oh my God! That's amazing. You just plucked that out of the thin air.
I don't even know how I got that. I'm shocked. I might need a minute.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
Lawrence Fishburne and Morpheus.
Morpheus. There we go. Yep. Okay, we all got a point there. Well done.
Ooh. All right. Hello, I got boobs.
That was me at 13. British.
That was me at the Miss World competition.
Yeah, that was Patrick after eating his 13 eight Big Macs.
Do you want it again?
Sure.
All right, I got boobs.
Is it Barbara Windsor?
Younger.
Is it Jordan?
Yes.
This is a miracle. How you got that?
Well,
Jordan, Katie Price.
Yes.
That's all I could think of to say for her, because I don't imagine her saying much else.
And do we know what that was in, or was it a film, a program, radio?
No, I just made that up.
Are you making your own rules now, Chloe?
Well, it was funny. It was funnier.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Well done indeed. So, Rabiah, it is your turn.
Okay, this aggression will not stand, man.
Is it the dude?
Yes.
Oh my God!
And I know it was just the line. My impersonation was like,
But I
yeah.
love the dude, so that's why I got it straight away.
Me
Big
too.
Lebowski, the dude, John Hughes, not John. I've forgotten his name. Bad teeth.
Jeff
What's his name?
Bridges.
Jeff Bridges. Yes.
You're not supposed to give the answer.
But I did give all the other things, like the film and the name of the character. So I think I was allowed.
I'm going to say Jeff Bridges.
Well done. I don't know how you got those. I honestly don't. Have you been emailing each other before the show?
No, we haven't. That was brilliant. Our impressions are amazing, Brian. You just tell me.
Didn't have the faintest idea of any of them. All right then, as we bring round 4 to its shambolic end, it leaves us with the wasted ending of round 5 to see if we can bring some sense to the entire show. So this is a quick fire round. If you know the answer, just shout it out as quickly as you can. These points are worth double, so it could be all to play for. Rabiah, how many shows have you performed?
154 as of last night.
Excellent. Ooh. Well done. That's 2 points to you. And your solo show in the Brighton Fringe, what was it called?
Nice try.
Oh, she's wiping the floor with you guys. Well done. It was nice try. If you can tell me what month that was done, you get a bonus 2 points as well.
It's going to be done in June 2021.
June, 2 dates, and then again it's going to play in what Fringe?
Camden.
On August for 5 dates. Where can we find out about all these gigs?
RabiahSaid.com/comedy is where.
Final question, the name of your podcast.
More Than Work podcast.
Okay, and we just search for More Than Work podcast?
Yep. Yeah.
Fantastic. There we go. So at the end of our quick fire round, Rabiah has literally swept the floor and taken the lead and come out as the winner. It just leaves me to say thank you to our regular guests and contestants. That's Chloe and Pratik, and a massive thank you to Rabiah for being an awesome sport and putting up with our nonsense over the last hour of Pull the Other One. It's great to see you, and do we look forward? Are you going to come back and visit us again on the show?
I would love to. This was so much fun. Honestly, guys, this was great.
Great stuff. Wonderful. That's it from us. Don't forget, we will be back next week. Same time, same place on a Friday, 6 till 7. From all of us here on Pull the Other One, we'll see you next time. Bye for now.